I was inspired by It's a Wonderful Life. This is a famous Christmas movie I'm sure most people have seen. I've seen it a million times. It's always so difficult when you're watching it to be like, oh, it's in black and white. But then after a while, it doesn't even matter. But what I wanted to focus on was George and his guardian angel, Clarence. And what Clarence said to George always stood out to me and always made such an impact to me. If you don't know this movie, basically it's about this lead character named George. And because he had money difficulties, because he had like 5 kids, because he had a big house, because his uncle had lost this money that they needed, because of all these things, George felt like, I can't take this anymore. It would be better off if I wasn't here, if I was never born, I'm going to kill myself. So George goes and he throws himself into this river, and Clarence comes down to help him. And Clarence is his guardian angel. And he's this like old man, and he's called a second class citizen. I don't know. He's called the second class guardian angel because he hasn't got his wings yet. So he's sent to help George so he can get his wings. So Clarence is talking to George, and George isn't believing him, and he's like, no, Clarence, I'm still George Bailey. And Clarence is like, no, you're not. You've been given a gift to see what the world is like if you had never been here, if you had never been born. And he shows George how the world would have been if he had never been there. He had never saved his brother. I think when his brother was 7, he saved his brother from drowning. Well, George wasn't there, so his brother drowned. He was never there to marry his wife, Mary. So Mary became this old spinster woman who never had kids and who worked at the library. Like, that showed what his life would have been. Another thing it showed was there's a pharmacist that George, he worked at the pharmacy when he was younger. Well, I think the pharmacist's son died in a war, and the pharmacist wasn't thinking, and he wasn't thinking, and he put poison into someone's prescription, but George caught it. And George was like, no, you can't give this to this person. This is poison. And the pharmacist was mad at first, but then when the pharmacist realized what happened, he thanked George. But all those things wouldn't have happened because George wasn't there. And I love what Clarence said. And I'm going to read it. Clarence said, strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? And I thought this was so amazing that each person's life touches another person. When I hear about people who've committed suicide, it makes me kind of sad because I think, what is their mother going to think? What is their friends going to think? Even that person walked down the street the day before and smiled at an elderly woman. You know, every life touches another. And this is the thing that you have to realize if you want your life to change. That yes, you are valuable. Yes, you have a goal. Yes, you have visions. But you have to realize that every part of your life touches another person. No matter how small. Like I just said, you walk down the street, you smile at someone. You know, I remember I went to Costco one day, and this woman had these amazing long fingernails, and I was like, your fingernails are amazing. And she was like, oh my God, thank you. Oh, wow. And she was going on about it for like a minute. Oh, I take biotin, and it's so, and I was like, wow, you know, and she was so happy because I complimented on her fingernails, which I truly thought were amazing. They were like literally this long, and they were natural. Stuff like that. So you need to look at your life and say, how does my life make a difference? How am I touching other people? You know, before you think so selfishly, oh, my life means nothing. I'm not doing anything. Oh, I'm so ugly, I want to kill myself. Oh, someone's bullying me at school, I want to kill myself. No. You need to think, how am I touching another life? How am I making a difference? If you're not making a difference, start making a difference. Start helping other people. Start reaching out to other people. Use the things in your life that have caused you pain as something that can help other people, as something that can lift someone else out of the mess. You know, you're being bullied at school. You're being bullied at school. Help another person who's being bullied at school. Help someone else. Don't be so selfish and say, well, you know what, poor me. No, stop saying poor me and start looking at it and saying, my life is important. I can make a difference. And you know what? Just a side note about bullies. You need to go to that person. You need to look them in the eye and you need to talk to them. Do not be afraid of them. When I was little, I never had a bully, but I had people who would make fun of me, mostly boys, you know how they tease, and I would walk right up to them, I'd look at them. Now, I don't suggest what I did, but I would claw them with my fingernails, because when I was younger, I had long fingernails. But basically, it's the same idea. You need to confront that person and show them that you're not afraid of them. Because truly, they're afraid of themselves. They feel horrible about themselves. They have to put other people down. You need to be the better person. You need to say, you know what, I'm not afraid of you. Do what you want to do with me. But I'm not afraid of you, and I don't have to take it from you. You know, you need to realize that you're important enough to stand up to that person. You're important enough to yourself to not put up with that. Once you see your value, once you see who you're worth, once you see what you have, you know what? That's going to change the atmosphere. That's going to change how other people see you. That bully may not even bother with you anymore because they're like, oh man, you know, she thinks that she is something. You know, I can't put this person down. And that's the key. That's the key. You have to see your value. You have to see you're important. And you have to know that your life matters. And it matters to everyone else around you. And that is my encouragement for today.